Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle, where we celebrate remarkable women who are making waves in the world while juggling the demands of everyday life, inspiring others, and leaving a lasting impact. I'm your host, Nichelle Miller, reigning Pure International Elite Ms. Ambassador. Join me as we explore the stories of extraordinary women shaping our world right here on Crown Chat with Nichelle. Welcome to Crown Chat with Nichelle. I'm Nichelle Miller, your host, and I'm so glad you're back with me for season 4. I can't believe we've been doing this for 4 seasons. And tonight I have a very, very special guest. My first pageant I ever competed in, I was contestant 19, and this lady was 20, and we were 19 and 20 the whole year because we both won. So please, Queen, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Heatheralmager, and I am your current Mrs. Indiana Petite 2025.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so since I have so much to say, I'm so excited. So we competed together in 2016. That was my first pageant. Was that your first pageant?
I did pageants when I was younger, like teen,
Okay.
like fair kind of stuff. But yes, that was as a married woman. I didn't even know there was married women pageants, and Miss Amanda was reaching out to people. And yes, then that I jumped in both feet and met you, and we became the 19 and 20 World Tour.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's so amazing. And it's so good to see you. And I'm loving you in this title. And since that time, you've had other titles, like you're kicking butt in the pageant world. So tell us a little bit about your pageant journey and how you got to where you are right now.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Indianapolis, opened many doors for us. And it was so cool because there was so many of us sister queens in that group. And
Yeah.
we got to do volunteerism with so many different organizations. You had the kidney one. And I mean, we just got introduced to everything. So, I knew my pageant journey wasn't over. I was like, okay, I'm loving this. Like, I love the sisterhood. I've made such good friends. So yeah, I went and competed for Mrs. Indiana America. I did that for 2 years. And then I took a little break. When I was with our group for Indianapolis, I had my breast cancer and we went through that journey. And I had a few other health things happen when I was doing the Indiana America stuff and ended up having more surgeries. So took a little break again. And then a new system popped up, US American Miss, and it was going to be their first year. And I was like, this is exciting. And they were going to crown 8 successors again. And I was like, oh my gosh, it reminds me of Indianapolis. So yeah, I looked into it and went to Florida, and I went down as what was my title? Indiana Elite Ms. And they have since gotten rid of the Elite Ms title, and they have a Mrs. now. So
Oh,
yes, I went to Florida and I competed and I won, and I became a national title holder. Which opened up even more doors. I got to work with people, Jonathan Kane and Fernando Wong, and travel and meet these designers and do such amazing stuff with them. And then after that, I was like, I'm not done. I had the fever. I'll call it the passion fever. So I had a friend, Jennifer, who was telling me about Petite, and she was going to compete in this Petite, and I was like, they have a Petite pageant. First, I'm finding about Mrs. Now I'm finding about Petite. So I went and watched her. It was in Milwaukee, and I met her through Indiana America. I did her
okay.
hair and like for different stuff for photo shoots. And so I went and watched her and we became good friends. And I was just so impressed with the Petite system. The production, I was like, Jennifer, give it to me. Like, how was it? And she said, the sisterhood is so unbelievable. Like, Jenna, the director, is just, that's what she's about. No mean girls, no, like she's just about the sisterhood and kindness. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like my heart. So I competed this past year, Indiana. I was Mrs. Indiana Petite 2024, and I was like, I have to go back. I have to do it again. It's calling my name again. So we are doing it again. We're going back, and I'm so excited.
I love that. I love that journey for you. I love seeing you just glow in every title and everything that you're doing. So when are nationals for you?
Nationals are July 9th through the 12th. Prelims are on the 11th, and then the final show is on the 12th. And they do things a little differently. There's a teen, a miss, a Ms., and a Mrs. category. So with my division, I know this last year they had the Mrs. Oh no, and there's an elite. There's 5 categories. My bad. There's 5 categories. There's an elite above the Mrs. And they had the Mrs. and the elite. Their final show was in the morning on Saturday. And so we had early morning, and then the afternoon was Teen Miss Ms. So it's like two separate shows, which made it really nice because it gave you a break in between, and you could go to both shows or you could come to the one or whatever you want to do. So yeah, we compete Saturday morning. If it goes like it did this year, if they don't change it up, I will compete on the 12th that morning.
Oh, wow, that's perfect. That's awesome. So petite, what is the criteria to be a petite? Because that's different than what we
It
normally see.
so many people ask me this. In our minds, we think, petite is it means you're small, as in stature. Does it mean you're short? There's so many things. And that's what I love about this system. That, when I went and watched, I was sitting there in awe. It's anything under 5'6" flat footed. So as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, girls could hit right at 5'6", put heels on, and I'm like, are they under five? But they are. And I saw so many different body types. I saw, petite, I guess I had stature, smaller women. I saw, girls with more of a figure that were, I just, there was so much represented, and it just made you feel like so welcome. Like there's no size defining anybody. The height is just what it is, under 5'6", and that's it.
That's amazing because being a fun size individual,
Yes.
there are not a lot of things focused for us. It's the tall things. So that's amazing. And then the variety of sizes. I think that's beautiful. Just have a representation like that. So
I do too. I do too. And that's why I was so like, okay. And and Jennifer's telling me that everybody's so kind to each other, and I have to experience this. And we have interview day, and that night we have this sparkle party. And the sparkle party, each division brings a gift, and you set them on a table. So all of the misses set our gifts there, and then you take a gift, and you get to meet other people from other states. And that sparkle party is just coming together and getting to know each other. And so, like, I was able to meet teens, and I was able, and it's just, I don't know, the whole production, like I said, the production is beautiful, but just the sisterhood, it speaks volumes. And I am so happy and honored to be going back and doing it again.
that's amazing. I'm excited. I'm so excited for you. I love just watching you, but like I said, just flourish and blossom with everything that you're doing. And there's so many things I want to ask you. Let's talk a little bit. You touched on it, kind of about when we were with Miss Indianapolis and breast cancer and all that, and how that's kind of evolved into your journey and platform.
Yes. So after I went through all of that, and I mean, you guys were right by my side. It was a long few months of lots of surgeries and infections, and it was just crazy. I went into pageantry to have a voice. Like you said, there's not, like, when people hear the word pageant, they think toddlers and tiaras. They think you have to be 6 foot tall, Victoria's Secret models. And I wanted to go in and have a voice when I started doing pageants. When I came as a married woman, my journey just took me a different way, and I ended up developing breast cancer. And I was like, okay, this is where I'm going now with this. Like, God leads you in ways that you're supposed to go. And so I developed Crown Beyond Cancer. And I just feel like my journey, that title speaks for itself. My journey with it, no matter where I'm going or what I'm doing, I always tell people I don't need a crown on my head to speak about it. I can talk about it anywhere I go. This just gives me a larger microphone to speak to so many more people about it. So yeah, Crown Beyond Cancer has formed, and I've gotten connections with so many different organizations that deal, with cancer. And right now, my biggest one is Phil's Friends, and I'm sure you've seen my post on Phil's Friends. I volunteer there every Tuesday, and we send out care packages to people all around the whole United States. Since 2008, we have sent over 50,000 care packages. A lot of people think it's just in the state of Indiana, but it's the whole United States. Phil himself, I've met him numerous times. I spoke at our dinner last year. They asked to share my story. He has battled cancer twice. He is in his 40s. He has two little boys, young. He's very young. And while he was in the hospital, a church brought a care package in for him. And it just gave him like such inspiration. And there was a Bible in there. And he was like, I want to form something like this for myself. So that's how Phil's Friends started. And I just really connected my Crown Beyond Cancer platform to Phil's Friends. So when I was at nationals at USAM, we were able to have a party on my behalf, where we raised money for breast cancer, and half the money, it went, I shouldn't say breast cancer, it went to Phil's Friends. My half went to Phil's Friends, and the other half, I chose a girl out of a little bowl, and she got to give it to her organization of her choosing. So I've been able to incorporate Phil's Friends at the things I'm doing and donate money. We have a pumpkin decorating contest at my work where we donate money from people voting on their pumpkins. And I'm very, very passionate with Phil's Friends. And yes, I feel like my platform goes hand in hand with what they're doing there and what I represent. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. And I love that you took something that's painful and turned it into purpose and are
Yes.
paying it forward and blessing other people. And that's what really pageantry is all about, right? It's impacting
Yeah.
the world and making a change, and which is what you're doing. Just you're amazing. And okay, so I have to, I mean, I've known her forever, but and I follow her on Facebook and watch all her things and know her family, and they're all amazing. You have been posting daily, my friend, like your workouts, like you are going hard. You're going every day. I'm like, dang it, Heather. So now I've had to start working out because I want to keep up. So tell us a little bit about your pageant prep. What's going on getting ready for July?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so last year, that's why I'm even more excited about this year, like going back. Last year I've had so many surgeries. I had tailbone surgery last year because I fell down my stairs doing laundry and had to have my tailbone worked on. This year in October, I had a disc just replaced in my neck, so I have a new C5 disc. So I'm just fresh out of surgery with this in October. So I've been cleared from the doctor. And last year they did this. Scott's Training Systems, he's out of Arizona and he's a sponsor for Petite. He does this challenge and it's the whole month. And we get a calendar and I post in my calendar and every day is a challenge. And last year the girls were doing stuff and I could see their videos and I'm sitting there with my tailbone and my donut and I'm like sitting on it and I'm like texting everybody, good job, good job. I wish I could, like the little things I could do were like put a happy inspirational post. I could do that, but like the jumping jacks and different stuff like that. So it is just like the other day we had our Zoom and I was like, yes, like it was with him, with all of us that wanted to jump in. And I'm starting. I mean, I wanted to do prep like this last year and go into it. But because of the surgery, it kind of set me back. I was so limited. Tailbone was a little more, I mean, this is in depth too, but the tailbone, I couldn't move a lot. So no, I am just working out. I'm following the calendar, but besides that, it's kind of put a little fire in me to go to I've been going to the Y every morning and every evening. I'm riding the bike, I'm walking the track, I'm doing weights. So it's just kind of kicked it into full gear and we're way ahead of schedule with, I mean, prep. Usually it's like what, 3-4 months that I'm like, nope, we're doing this. The challenge is going. So I get to meet with him this next week and have a phone conversation with him because he does the consultations with us, and we'll see what happens with that. So I'm just going full all in.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And then I'm like, oh, she's judging. Oh, wait, she's in Kentucky. Oh, like you're all over the place. And then not only are you judging, she has the most amazing husband and family and support system. And just kind of going back to our year, like I think the whole auditorium was Heather's family, you guys. So they're like, and number 20, and everybody's like, whoa. And I'm like, who are these people? So they were her fan club there. And and now Abe's judging with you. So how did he jump into the judging boat? Or did you make him come? I mean, what
you
happened?
know the thing, like honestly, like he at Indianapolis, he was like, this is awesome. Like just he and his bio, when they read his judge's bio, it's always like he loves how pageants and they empower women and they give them a voice. Like that's his final, like it talks about all of his things. And it's like, and Abe judges because of the empowerment of women. I'm like, oh my gosh, like he truthfully loves it. And and he just, I think with me being in it, he's around the world,
Yeah.
like he's in it, he knows what goes on in it. And it's hard, like you and I both know, and I mean pageant, our pageant friends, it's hard to find male judges. It really is, like, because a lot of guys are not into that kind of, and you hear that so often. But he really enjoys it and he knows how much I enjoy it and how much it gives me a voice to like talk to people and do interviews and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, he's really, really, really into it.
I love it. Because I see your picture, I'm like, is that Abe? Is that, and for those of y'all that don't know, you'll have to follow her social media, but he's like 30 feet tall and
Yeah.
she's petite. And so it's just like, is that Abe? Yeah, I'm looking.
He's either judging or he's like holding my stuff to the side. Yeah, I'm 5'2" and he's almost 6'6". So it's a big, like, and people see him and they're like, who is that? And I'm like, he's my husband, like not bodyguard. He is my husband. And my stepson now, he is pushing almost 6'4". So they're both like two big guys behind me. And I'm just like walking in the middle.
Yeah, she has her own security team. So beware
Yeah.
when you're approaching her out in
Yeah.
public. So you're doing pageants, you're volunteering, you have your platform, you have all these things going. What do you do in the day? What's your day job? What's your gig?
my my gig, I'm a hairstylist. And that in itself, pageant world has brought me, like, I've traveled, with Michaela and Steph, and we've done hair at Mrs. America and Mrs. World. And so, I mean, pageants have taken me so many places. But yes, I am the salon manager at Beauty and the Beach in Crown Point, Indiana. I have 9 other stylists in my salon. We have a big salon though. There's like 42 of us that work there total.
Yeah.
But I'm over the hair salon and makeup team and stuff like that. But Yeah, I'm a hairstylist, and like I said, I get to travel with Rain Beauty Team and do pageants too. I get to go do hair for that.
That's incredible. I mean, to have all of your passions like mixed, and I mean, things happen for a reason. To have everything melt in one pot is just amazing to enjoy and love what you do and to be
Yeah,
able to get paid for it. So I have to ask, when you compete, do you do your own hair and makeup?
I do not. And so many people ask me that. They're like, "You could save so much money. You could save money." And I just love being able to sit there and like let them work on me. And you know me, I talk to everybody. So I have gotten to know these hairstylists and makeup artists, and I am friends with them on Facebook and Instagram. And like, we talk about collabing together. And like, when I'm down in Miami, coming and seeing, some of the people from Team Flawless. And like, it's been so awesome. Like, some of the best, like, kind-hearted people that I have met are those hair and makeup people. And I think
Yeah.
to myself, I'm like, well, I'm on the other end of that sometimes. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I get it.
Yeah.
And so I take the time, I do all the things, I sit there, I let them, do their work on me. And it's nice to relax and not have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And your hair and makeup team makes such a difference and even just kind of calming nerves and just
Absolutely.
letting you woosah for a minute. So yeah,
We when we're in Vegas, we tell our girls, like, your time with us is like we are with you. And we give them our phone number. We're like, if you need to come to our room in between whatever, just for a moment, like, this is your safe spot. Like, you can come in here. We don't allow like any friends, family, like extra stuff like that in our room.
yeah.
Like, they can come in there and they can just take a moment. If you need to come in here and just take a little nap, like, our room is your safe spot. So I love that too. Like, it's been awesome.
That's amazing. And it's such a blessing because you get what they're going through. I mean, you've done it. So to get the other side of it and then be behind the chair, I mean, that's huge.
Yes, one of my dearest friends, she's getting ready to compete again for Indiana USA, Yana. I met her doing her
Yana
hair and
Jones.
Yana Jones, and
I
she
met
put the
her judging.
connections together. Yes, that we knew each other. And I did her hair in Vegas when she was competing for Mrs. America, and she was second runner up that year. And just so many, like, we joke now, but she would text us and be like, "Can you guys meet me down in the food court?" And we'd sit there. There was like a taco place, and we would sit there and we just talk to her. And she's like, "Okay, I'm feeling this way," or like, can you guys help me with this, critique that? And I'm like, yeah. And like, we just talked to her, and like, that relationship is still ongoing. She's came over and volunteered at Phil's with me, and like, she's competing again for Indiana USA. So like, just these connections that I get, in pageant world, like I said, doing her hair, now we're connected through so much more. So
Yeah, it truly is. It's a sisterhood and it's a very, very small world. As huge as it
yeah,
is, it's a very small world.
it is. All the time you talk to somebody like, "Oh, I know them," just like Yana, I know them, or I know them, or I've seen them, but I don't know them yet. And it is like you said, it's a bit like, everybody's like, there's so many systems, but yet they kind of intermingle each other over time. And you're like, "Oh, I know them. They used to do this one," or so that's neat.
That's amazing. I love it. So you're competing in July. What is going on? I mean, any big appearances or any big things that people can follow watching you along this journey or
Oh my gosh. I am constantly adding to my calendar. The Kentucky thing did not happen till like 2, 3 weeks prior.
go?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my other friend Rachel, who's the current Mrs. Indiana America,
Hmm.
she reached out to me and couldn't go. And she was like, "Could you go?" I was like, "Okay, let me look." So we had that, and that was amazing. The Kentucky Fair Association, it was their state fair. They added a Ms. and a Mrs. pageant, because
Yeah.
typically it's just a Miss. So that was big. There was a lot of girls, 35 women in Misses and 24 in Ms. out the gate, just right first year ever having it. I said, that's a lot of women. So
Mhm.
that was huge. I have Cinderella Dress Day coming up that I go volunteer. This will be year number 4 for me, year 4. I have Miss Amazing coming up.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going.
be there.
You're going to?
Yeah. I'll see
Yay!
you
So we have Miss Amazing. Um, I have the 4th of July parade, of course, here in Crown Point. And I'm sure along the way there'll be more judging things. MAO, they reach out every now and again. They're like, "Can you come judge and do
there.
the locals?" So we've got some things like that coming on. But my big ones, right, that I'm really excited about that are coming up are the Cinderella Dress Day and Miss Amazing. Because we love Miss Amazing.
Yes. Yes. It's an amazing journey. An amazing journey. Oh my gosh. I'm so proud of you. And I feel like I can say I knew her way back when. Uh, Watching all the things that you do. What would be your advice to women who feel, I've been through this tragedy, or I've been through this, and I'm not a pageant girl. I can't compete, but they kind of deep down want to. What would be your advice to them?
I would tell them to go for it. I would tell them to, get a coach. That's a big thing, is talking to a coach. And I feel like a coach, a good coach will guide you to the correct pageant. And
Hmm.
I think that's a big, big, big thing. Some women try these pageants and it might not have been the right fit for them.
Yeah.
I've been there, and I'm just like, so you have to find a fit in the world if you want to do it. Because if you have a bad experience, or, it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, that will never make you want to do this again. And someone who is on the fence, that's like, I've never done one and I don't know, there may be one that's like a beginner one that you need to try, and just kind of get the feel of it and see how a day would go. Because we both know pageant day and, leading up to it is busy. It's very busy. And then if you win, the obligations, you have to understand there are obligations to fulfill. So I would say, if you're on the fence about it, I would just, talk to a coach and let them, guide you to where you need to go, and just find the right system. If you don't want to get a coach or you don't have the money for that, that's fine. But I would look into different systems and maybe talk to the directors and see what all it entails. I know I have talked to so many people. They're like, you just, you're not the typical pageant girl, and I'm like, what does typical mean anymore? That's my thoughts on it. And I think that would be my biggest pieces of advice.
Yeah, that's great. And I think it's so important. And I say that all the time. I'm like, research, 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 because not just the crown is the thing. There's a lot of things that happen before
Yes.
and after, and it might not even fit your values or your morals or your goals. And it's like, if you don't do that research and you get into something, you're like, uh-oh. So, so
Yes.
important. So
Yes,
important.
and when you win a title, there's a contract usually, and you have to fulfill a contract, and it can be little things, like Mrs. Women. We have children, we have careers, and it could be just fulfilling weekly postings on Facebook, or whatever you need to do. And there is a lot that goes into it. So like you said, research is great. That's a good word to put with it. Do your research.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so as a title holder and you're on a coaching prep glam team. If someone could only afford hair or makeup, what would you suggest they get done? I know both, but if they could only do one.
Makeup. Makeup. Just because I can show you quick tips with your hair. I can show you how to do a quick little bun. I can show you how to pin something super fast. I can show you how to use a curling iron. I can show you these things, but makeup and stage lighting can be so different. And if you don't have the correct makeup, I it can make or break. It really can. It can like hollow you out in your eyes. It can make you look pale. There's a lot of things that go into play with makeup. So I would definitely probably, and that's so weird to say because I'm a hairstylist, but like I said, I would be willing to give you tips and pointers if you couldn't afford to do hair.
Yeah.
And but with makeup, you have to have the right makeup for the stage lighting. So makeup.
And that's a really good tip because I've seen people do their own and when lights and pictures come out and you're like, oh my. So
Yeah.
that's a great tip. Great tip.
Yes.
What's something you've learned about yourself going through this pageant journey?
That I'm strong, that I am very, very, very strong. Like I've been through the highest of highs with stuff, and I've been at the lowest of lows with my health battles, and that I am so strong. And like, every day I post a daily inspirational post on my Facebook, and I have done that since I learned I had breast cancer. When I was going through my journey sitting at home, I was sitting there, people are working, I'm home, I can't do anything. I was like, I should like start posting something because maybe somebody else is sitting here and they're going through this too. And you have your down days where you're crying and you're just like, I feel helpless. And you have to, come out of that some way, somehow. And just, and I question, do my post, my motivational posts still reach people? And I'll get a random message from somebody and they're like, I needed that today. And I just think, that through that, my strength has, like, those motivational posts have pulled me through some of my darkest times. So yes, I've learned just how strong I can be when I'm in my lowest low, like I said, um, what I can overcome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so grateful that you were on. I'm so glad we got to connect and the 19 and 20 World Tour. reunion.
Yeah, continues.
How can people follow your journey and watch what you're doing? And if they want to reach out to book you or get you for events, how can they connect with you?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. It's just under my name, Heatheralmager, Almager. And then I actually have two on Facebook. I have the Mrs. Petite page, Mrs. Petite Indiana, or Mrs. Indiana Petite Heatheralmager. And then I have Heatheralmager. That's my personal page. You can reach me on either one. And then I have an Instagram, and it's just Heatheralmager. I did everything very simple because I was like, I just want people to be able to type my name in. I have a Gmail. If anybody needs to message, send me a Gmail, it's Heatheralmager. And everybody laughs when I tell them that. I'm like, no, there's no numbers. It's just simple, just my name. So
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Well, I am just so proud of you, like I said, and watching your journey and watching Abe and, and everything going on. Tall Abe, so tall. Just
yes.
seeing you guys and growing together in this journey and seeing your growth. And I can't wait to see what happens with you in July. And of course, I'll be following your things, and you're making me work out and and I'll be cheering you on, and everybody watching at home. Thank you so much for tuning in. Any last words or wisdom you want to share with us before we log off?
I just want to thank you. This is amazing. I have watched so many of your videos you posted, and I'm like, she is doing such big things. I'm so thankful that we met all those years ago. It was meant to be. I'll never forget it. It was meant to be. And I just want to thank you for having me on here, and keep doing what you're doing. And also, like I said, I volunteer at Phil's Friends. So if anybody, I want to give the info for that. If anybody has any questions about Phil's or like to find ways to volunteer, Phil's Friends is on Facebook. Phil's Friends is on Insta. They have a website. And I always say in my live videos that I do each week when I go, there is ways to volunteer from anywhere where you live. They have templates where I brought some up here to show you guys. These are called Cards of Hope, and they're just colored. And the template is on their website. It's and it shows how to just print them. They're paper. And it has everything on it. And you can have your kids do these, you can do them, and you just mail them to them. So if you receive a package from Phil's, once a month for a year, you receive a card of hope, just to keep you encouraged to go, keep going. So these are the cards of hope. But yes, I just strongly, and if you guys see the little logo, that's what Phil's Friends looks like. So yeah, just check them out. They have all the social media, they have a website, and ways to volunteer from home. So yeah, if anybody has any questions about that, you can message me too.
That's amazing. And I'll put all that info down in our show notes so anybody can click that quickly and get to it. Heather, thank you again. And I just keep sparkling because you're just amazing. Everybody watching, thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, never let anybody dull your sparkle because they can't handle your shine. We'll see you next time on Crown Chat. Thanks, guys.
Are you a current title holder or pageant provider that wants to share your story? Message us now at crownchatwithnichelle@gmail.com.